You're listening to the Sausha Davis podcast, a show about overcoming fear and manifesting your dream life. Each week, we'll dive deep into real stories and tangible advice about spirituality, law of attraction, mindset, and money so that you can be your happiest, healthiest, and most abundant self. You ready? Here we go. All right, guys, let's try this again. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today, I want to talk all about manifesting with moon energy. So I actually recorded this podcast a little over a week ago at a campground that we were at. And for some reason, the second half of the audio was garbage. It wouldn't play, it wouldn't convert, it wouldn't do all the things that we needed to do to make it magically appear on your podcast app. So here I am recording it again. Hopefully I don't forget anything, or maybe it'll be even better this time, So what I want to talk about today, if you've been following me on Instagram over at Sausha.Davis or our family adventures over at Sausha and Will, you'll see that I have recently purchased a new book. So we were moving from one campsite to another campsite, and we had a couple hours to kill. So we went over to Target just to, do the Target thing. Except for we don't have a ton of room in the camper, right? So it's kind of cool to just window shop because you can't get all the things that you would normally want to get. So we, settled for just a couple of books. I got a couple of books. Oakland got a couple of books. She actually got this really cute History of Unicorns book. So I love it. It's very magical, and it just teaches kids to really use their imagination, but it also has some historical stuff in it. So it's very cute. I love it. And then for myself, I got a tarot card book and teaching me all the things about tarot cards and tarot readings, the history, all of that good stuff, and how to even up my tarot game, right? Like how to do even better readings. So if you guys don't know, I do oracle card readings. One of the ones that I love the most, aside from the tarot cards, or some people pronounce it tarot. So there's no right or wrong. I've heard it both ways. So it's either tarot or tarot, whatever, floats your boat is what you should use. So I've done those types of readings, intuitive tarot readings, and then also oracle cards. And so oracle cards can be like angel cards, spirit cards, animal cards. One of my favorites is the animal spirit deck. And so that's the one that you'll probably see me using the most often. But anyways, neither here nor there. I got the tarot book to kind of help up my game and a little bit of history and knowledge and how to use them and how to intuitively tap into that kind of energy and things like that. So super excited about that book. That's the one I'll be reading next. But the one that I started with is called The Power Wish by Kiko. It's a Japanese astrologer, and she has mastered the art of manifesting using the moon energy and using astrology. The astrology, what do I want to say? I don't want to say symbols, but, the astrological signs to help us manifest. So each astrological sign has a certain type of energy that is associated with it, so whether it's more of a powerful energy or about love or support or marriage or money, there's a different theme for each astrological sign. And so each new moon and each full moon is going to have a different energy. And so what you guys are familiar with is your sun signs. So for example, I'm a Libra. That's the day that I was born on. That is my sun sign. But my moon sign is actually a Cancer. And so if we learn how to manifest using the moon energy or our moon signs, or using the new moon and the full moon, and setting an intention that goes along with the energy of that moon, we can speak to the universe more directly, more clearly. It's like standing out. It's like being a fan favorite, right? Pick me. It's just that vibing right versus writing the same thing every single day. You're kind of shifting how you write that intention in order for it to manifest even quicker, to grab the attention of the universe, God, spirit, whatever it is that you believe in or that you associate with. Grab that energy and attention of them quicker so that you can manifest quicker. And so I was like, wow, I feel like I've been doing this in some level. So if you guys are familiar with the new moon, we actually just had a new moon. September 6th was the new moon. Virgo is the season that we are in now for that. And then Libra full moon is coming up next. So stay tuned for full moon intentions. And so generally speaking, on a new moon, you want to set your intentions as if you're asking for a wish. So using the things of I intend for, or I intend to, and then whatever your desires are, whatever the manifestations are that you wish to happen, whatever your wish is, but then using words and phrases and vibes that are similar to that energy of the new moon. So for example, this season was the Virgo season. So when I wrote my intentions on September 6th, I was writing them in the sense of the new moon energy going into Virgo. And so I had a little bit different wording on my intentions. And you always want to say things like, this is for the highest good of the world, the highest good of the earth, for everybody's best interest, things along those lines, because we want it to be for the highest good, the highest of all, highest good for everyone, for all involved, right? And so setting the intention in the beginning that this is the best way possible. And the reason that this wish should be granted to me is because it will make things even better in the world. And then going straight into your intention or your wishes, and then rewording them to the energy of the new moon that is appearing in that season. And then when you go into the full moon period, you would write your intention, you would write your wish, your desire, as though it has already happened. So for example, I'm so grateful for XYZ, and then using phrases or themes that are associated with the full moon energy. So we're coming up on the Libra full moon, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But you can find out what new moon is coming up. There's a few different apps. I use Moonly, or oh, hang on, let me see what I have here. I have Moonly, and I have Full Moon, and I have CoStar. Otherwise, you can go to thepowerwish.com. They have like a calendar that'll show you all the new moons and all the full moons. And then you can look up, the energy and intentions that are kind of associated with that. But full moons, you want to state your intention as if it's already been granted. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. This has already happened. Please bring me more. Anything along those lines, right? And so I was fascinated by this because you guys know me, I'm always talking about law of attraction and manifestation, and what's in the forefront of your mind is, what you think about, you attract, what you throw out, you get back. And so setting the intention that you're going to use the energy of the stars, of astrology, essentially, to help you manifest. Use the power of the moon. It's just magical. And I don't know why I haven't thought of this before. I've done the new moon intentions, but it just never occurred to me until I read this book. And I seriously read it from like front to back in just a few days. And I have 3 young kiddos. They work a full-time job. We're traveling across the country. Like, I made time to read this book front to back, and I was fascinated by it. I'm actually going to read it again. And what I've learned in this book, I'm also going to incorporate in my new book that's coming out. So I'm actually creating a manifestation planner, a manifestation journal. It's kind of a little bit of both. It's more of a journal than a planner, but it is going to help you manifest. And so in there, I'm also going to put the intention settings with the moon energy and the different signs and symbols and themes and things like that, so that you guys can utilize this in your own life, right? I mean, you can obviously go buy the book. I'll have the link in the show notes here. It's called The Power Wish by Kiko, a Japanese astrologer. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Target. I'm sure you can get it at any kind of, local bookstore too, or ask them to order it for you. It's a great book. Everybody should read it. But I'm also going to put my Sausha swing on it, right? So I like to teach these types of things. And so I'm going to incorporate what I've learned into my new planner. And so I actually polled my Instagram followers last week, leading into what I got going on here. Well, I'll share with you guys. So the next thing coming up in October is I'm going to be doing a 30-day Facebook group for the launch of this book, of this journal for you guys, so we can all kind of go through it together. There's going to be lots of different things that we go through over in there. It's going to be Manifesting 101. We're going to talk about energy work and crystals and letting go and the moon energy. I mean, there's going to be a ton of good stuff in there for you guys to learn on how to help you manifest anything that you desire. Essentially, there's going to be journal prompts. It's great. It's going to be, I think it's over 60 pages total of like prompts and how-tos and things like that. And then there's also space for you to reflect and write down the things that you come up with, be creative, ideas, all of that good stuff. So that's going to be up and coming. So make sure that you are on our newsletter. You can head over to SaushaDavis.com and sign up for the newsletter there. Otherwise, just hit me up on Instagram, send me a message and let me know, hey, I want to be in on this. We'll have the link for the registration for that available fairly soon. So keep an eye out in your inbox for that, because that's going to be the next thing up and coming. But you can absolutely help yourself manifest quicker by using the energy of the moon. And this is just, again, it's fascinating. I think everybody should learn how to do it. And the few tidbits that I'll add to it that I like to do is I like to use, the oils and the crystals and things like that. So when I write my intentions down, a lot of times I'll write on really high quality paper using like one of my favorite pens, just because I feel like it has a higher vibration to it, right? And you don't have to have it like this. I mean, when I first started this, I had a 50-cent Dollar General notebook and like a, Bic pen from a gas station. I don't even remember, honestly. I mean, you can use whatever. It's the intention that you are starting this and creating this habit is more important than anything. But as you progress, just like anything, you want to get better and better, right? So I'm at a place where I love using quality products, quality pen, quality paper. And I never even knew that there was such thing as quality paper, but there's like high quality paper, and it is like the smoothest to write on. I know it sounds silly, but it makes me feel so good. So I write my intentions on that. And then what I'll do is I'll actually channel some Reiki energy to it. So I'll do like a little prayer and I'll channel some Reiki energy to it. I'll do like my Reiki symbols and things along those lines. And then I will set it under, usually what I pick is a rose quartz. So I have a big giant rose quartz that I recently bought when I was in the Black Hills earlier this year. I had a smaller rose quartz that I used, but I actually gifted that to somebody, I believe, last year. So if you're listening to this, that's somebody. I hope you still love it. If not, just give it back to the earth. The best thing to do when you're done with a crystal is return it to the earth. So anyways, I bought this really nice rose quartz from a place in Hill City, South Dakota when we were hosting a retreat. And I just absolutely love it. It's such a great stone, and I travel with it, even though it's massive. It's like the size of my fist. So I guess it's not really massive, because they had like boulders of rose quartz. And when we buy our next house, I will sure as shit have big giant boulders of rose quartz and white, like clear quartz and snowy quartz and all the fun stuff. So, but what I'll do is I'll fold up that piece of paper, that intention, and set it under that rose quartz so that it, sends a loving, healing energy, right? Like, how cool. So that's kind of what I do. I mean, you can go one further and even like set it out overnight so that it absorbs the energy of the moon. I've seen people do that too, where they'll, put it under a crystal, or they'll put it in like a jar or a glass or something like that and set it outside to absorb the moon energy, essentially. So that's something that you can do too that works really well. But you guys, there's so many different ways that you can set the intention. And the biggest thing is to keep a positive mind. I mean, just like when you book something online, like say you're booking a vacation, you get that confirmation, like, that it's going to happen. You get excited, you start planning for it. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with setting your intentions. It's, hey, I'm going to set this intention. I know without a doubt that it's going to happen. I'm going to keep a positive mind, and I'm going to keep going about my day as if this is already going to happen. I'm going to start preparing my life for this thing to happen. But the biggest thing is letting go of the expectation. Don't dwell on it. Don't obsess over it. Don't poke and prod it. Because when you plant a seed, you wait for it to grow. You don't go out and pick it every single day, right? And so that's kind of the power of the new moon and the full moon. So pretend you're planting the seed on the new moon and you're reaping the harvest of that on the full moon. So it's, hey, this is my intention. Hey, this is what I'm so grateful for. Is this making sense? I know I'm talking fast, but I just get really excited about this stuff. So anyways, that is manifesting with moon energy. There is so much more that goes into it. This is stuff that I can teach you in a one-on-one, or we can do as part of the 30-day manifestation journaling group. I think either is a great investment, well worth your time. Head on over to SaushaDavis.com if you want to book your one-on-one session with me. Otherwise, stay tuned for the launch of the Facebook group. That'll be coming up here in October. And what else is coming up here in October is the October Women's Retreat in the Lake of the Ozarks. So this is going to be a magical 4 days where we will spend together adventuring, talking about spirituality, personal development, professional development, all things. It's going to be fun. We're going to have lots of laughs. I absolutely love doing retreats. They have got to be one of the funnest things ever. Just getting together, unplugging, being present, doing things that you wouldn't normally do. And I bring my cards, I bring my crystals, I bring all of the fun things for you guys to try and experience. And the cool thing that I'm going to be adding this retreat is we'll add some adventure components to it. So we're actually staying at a lake house that's right on the lake. So if you're not, out journaling and looking off into the, amazing view, you can do some of the trails. There's lots of really great trails. You can just sit on the deck and hang out. The weather there is beautiful. It's usually like in the 70s in the October months. The fall is setting in. The leaves are starting to change. But the two cool things that I'll be adding to this retreat is we're going to do some adventure components. So there's going to be a trail ride, a horseback ride. And then there's also going to be a dinner cruise. And so we're going to be able to, just bond and have an adventure. I love horses. I cannot wait until this next adventure of mine kind of manifests and unfold. And so you guys will be, you'll be witnessing it along the way. I mean, if you've been following me, you know that we've sold everything and moved into our camper, and we're going to be traveling the U.S. until we find the dream property. And I don't have any other intentions other than the right place will show up at the right time for the right price and the right location, and everything will just be perfect about it. And I'm letting it go. It will happen when it's meant to happen. So I may travel for 2 months. I may travel for 2 years. I have no idea. I mean, I would love to find a place within like a year, but I'm not getting too attached to it. I want the perfect place to come to me so that I can, create this retreat center and give people an experience of a lifetime. That is my goal. And you guys will see that unfold here on this podcast, on Instagram. I want to just be really, transparent on what it is that I'm doing and that you guys can do it too. You just have to believe in yourself enough to make it happen and let go of all the stories, all of the negative thought patterns that we hold on to ourselves. And sometimes the stories are passed down from our parents or previous generations. If you guys have ever looked into epigenetics, a lot of times we can absorb things that aren't even really ours. They're just passed on to us like DNA, right? Like you didn't choose your hair color. That was passed on to you from generations previously. And so sometimes stories can also be passed through generations. And until you bring awareness to that and heal it and change it, you will continue to experience the same thing that your parents have or your grandparents have. Or, if you're even out grocery shopping and you bump into somebody and they have some really negative energy, sometimes they can dump their bad shit on you and then you feel worse throughout the day. Think of, the word's not coming to me. It starts with an E, empaths. You absorb other people's energy. And so sometimes if you're not protecting yourself, if you're not vibing at 100%, if you're not really taking care of yourself and setting some strict boundaries, you can absorb other people's shit and that will affect every area of your life. It'll affect your relationships, your finances, your health, right? And so how do we bring awareness to that so that we can go out about life and be confident and be bold and do the things that we want to do and not have to worry about other people's opinions or other people's energies affecting what that is. Okay. And I feel like I can talk more on this on the next podcast. But for today, I want you to really start thinking about what your intentions are. We're going to be coming up on a full moon on September 20th. So what are you grateful for? Start really thinking about what you want to manifest in your life and writing the intention as if it's already happened. Okay. And if you need help with this, hit me up. I do have some space for one-on-ones. Just head on over to SaushaDavis.com. You can book your call there. Otherwise, be on the lookout for our 30-day manifestation journal launch group. That'll be what's coming up next. Otherwise, if you want some adventure and fun in your life, I do have a couple spots left for the Ozarks retreat, so hit me up on that. Otherwise, you can find more information at SaushaDavis.com. All right, guys. Hope you have a kick-ass week, and I'll catch you next time. Hey, thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the podcast. I am so grateful for all of my listeners, and I wanted to quick share with you ways to work with me this fall. So as you know, the upcoming Lake of the Ozarks retreat is October 7th through 10th. Spaces are limited. So head on over to SaushaDavis.com or set up a free clarity call to see if there are spaces left or for more information. Now, I am offering something for a limited time. I am offering one-on-one life and business coaching sessions along with one-on-one Reiki and chakra intuitive healing sessions. So if this interests you, head on over to SaushaDavis.com. I have single sessions available or packages of 3 sessions available. So if you're looking for ways to work with me, you can attend a retreat and have some fun and some adventure in your life, along with some spirituality and some personal development. Or if you're working on things in your life or your business and you want help or advice on those, hit me up there. Otherwise, if you're looking to heal some patterns, balance your chakras, things along those lines, or just channel some Reiki energy to help calm, rest, relax, things along those lines. If you're looking for some clarity, head on over SaushaDavis.com, book your sessions now. And if you have questions, as always, hit me up. I'd be more than happy to help. So have a kick-ass day, guys. We'll catch you next episode.